Animals have property rights also. However, I wanted to make this disclaimer. These rights do not match human rights. So I'm not going the route of trying to say we should protect all animals. But they do have rights. For example, animals are not to work on the Sabbath. They get a day of rest. Okay, the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord. In it thou shalt do any work, nor your cattle, nor any of your animals. Keep newborn animals with the mother for 7 days. The 8th day it can be offered. We talked about this on Tuesday. Okay? This is just good common sense. You get a newborn baby, it needs to be with mom for a while before so it can get established. If we leave our goats out with other goats, it's going to get picked on immediately and possibly hurt or damaged. But if you give it a week by itself, it's going to be strong enough to fend for itself. It's going to be the lowest, man on the totem pole, but it's still, it's got a chance.
Separate the mom and that baby.
We built 2 stalls where we just lock them up, and we actually have 2 separate. I can lock them up in a big area or in a small stall about 10 by 10. I put the mom with the baby. It's a lot for the first couple of days. You got to make sure that the kid can nurse.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't. We've had goats die on us because we weren't there to help it latch. And if you're not there to assist it sometimes, if it's in the wild, it's just the probabilities it's playing. It's going to lose a kid here or there. We have a lot of triplets, and when there's a triplet, if we're not there, almost every time one dies. Because while it'll have the first one, it's so busy with the next 2, it ignores that first one. And it doesn't get any nutrients, but it's got to deal with so much. They're not really, I don't know if they weren't intended to have that many, but we're there almost every time, and we have to pick it up and help it, nurse. A week is a very good common sense number. So I would say God was right on this one.
Oh, that one?
Yeah, just that one. You are not to breed animals of diverse kinds, no hybrid animals. This is the same thing. The gender with a diverse kind is the Hebrew word rab. It means to squat or lie out flat. That is specifically in copulation. So we're not supposed to breed animals together of different kinds. It doesn't mean you can't keep them penned up together. It just means you're not supposed to breed them. Some animals will breed together, some animals will not. We get a mule from a horse and a donkey. We should separate horses and donkeys because they can breed. But a goat and a horse, we don't have anything to worry about. I would not have a problem putting a goat and a horse together. It doesn't mean keeping them in the same lot. It's specifically for breeding. A goat and a sheep, they make geeps. What I think is interesting is very few scientists have connected this, but this literally disproves evolution. Because a geep cannot reproduce.
Right.
A mule cannot reproduce. The minute you change the genetics just a little bit, reproduction is impossible.
Yes.
In law, it's called a collateral estoppel.
Yeah.
So it's like God put a collateral estoppel, you change just enough, no more. And it works with plants too. So why evolutionists believe that evolution could be possible with evidence like this? That's why you buy genetically modified seeds. You have to keep buying them.
Right.
You can't pick the seed from your apple and plant it and grow it. It won't.
Yeah.
So to me, that's such strong evidence evolution could not possibly be true, but you really don't hear about it. They just completely ignore it. You'd think some creation scientist would bring it up, but I've yet to hear that.
Yeah.
But just that alone totally refutes evolution.
Yep.
This is genetic modification. GMO animals causes food allergies, increased toxicity, decreased nutritional value, and it also becomes antibiotic resistance, which is probably their main purpose. But that you guys probably know how that can be damaging as it is. The more resistant we get to it, the less it works. You shall not slaughter an animal and its offspring on the same day. I think this is compassion. We talked about this on Tuesday also. Mothers in the animal world do mourn their offspring. And we see that every day. I mean, every time we butcher a goat, it's one of the young ones, and the mom is mourning for a couple of days at least. We've had goats literally just looking around their cage, wandering for about 2 or 3 days. And it's kind of sad. It really is sad.
It's sad.
The eggs or young can be taken from a bird's nest, but not along with the mother. So when you're out in the way, that means you're traveling. You shall not take the dam with the young, that it may be well with you, and that thou may prolong thy days. Why would he say this? This is to preserve the animal population. If you think about it, this is when you are in the way, you're traveling, and you need food, you find a nest. You can't take the mom and the eggs. That's going to hurt the population. Preserving the animal population will be well with thee, that thou may prolong your days. You want to take care of your environment so it continues to provide for your needs. If you kill the mom and the eggs, no one's left to reproduce. So you need to make sure that we preserve nature as it is so it continues to feed us. That's just good common sense when you think about it. You are not to have two different kinds of animals work together. That just makes sense. Look how big this ox is compared to the horse. The New Testament mentions being unequally yoked. We're not supposed to be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Animals, the original statute is you're not supposed to make them unequally yoked. Can you imagine a goat and a horse pulling side by side? That poor goat.
Yeah.
That's not going to be fair.
You're going to have this tealed round.
Yeah, it's not going to work. That's obviously an extreme. But, you know, the picture I have up there is an ox and a horse. The ox is a lot bigger than the horse, and that's not fair. You shall not muzzle the mouth of the ox that is being used for work. So these animals are allowed to eat while they're working. So if they're pulling a plow and they want to stop and grab, you know, forage or eat whatever's on the ground, they're allowed to do that. These are animal rights. It's nothing like the animal rights they're pushing today.